All right. Now, y'all, now we got to talk about the tropics. Because we're talking about tropical astrology here, right? What is tropical astrology? Well, think about it. What is a tropical island? When you want to go to the tropics, you want to put your feet up on a beach, right? You want to kick your feet up. You want to enjoy that tropical climate. Well, the tropics, it breaks down to the word turning point. So when the sun is by the tropical point, there is a deviation in the direction of the sun. Now we're going to explain this. Here we have the equator, right, in the middle. Then we have the Tropic of Cancer. Then we have the Arctic Circle. Then we have the Northern Pole Circle. All right? And we see this when we go north from the equator. All right? So if you took the Earth and put a flat disk, a flat plane in the middle of the Earth, when you go 23 degrees up, you will go to the Tropic of Cancer. Then when you go 66 degrees up, you're going to be at the Arctic Tropic. Then, well, I don't know if they call it the Arctic Tropic, but you're going to be in the Arctic zone, all right? And these are degrees of latitude, all right? So then when you go 66 degrees up, you hit the Arctic Circle, then you go to the Northern Circle, all right? Then, now, when we go back to the equator, all right, when we go down here, when we go 23 degrees down, y'all, remember in math class, what you do on one side, you do to the other, right? Yeah, right? Now, the equator, but when we go below the equator, we have the tropic, we have the Tropic of Capricorn, then we have the Antarctic Circle, then when we go down, we have the Southern Pole Circle, all right? But now look, when we're talking about tropical astrology, we're only focusing on here. We're focusing on the tropical zone, because when the sun goes to 23 degrees Cancer, the sun goes back down. Now let's explain this, and make sure y'all check the YouTube, because we have other videos on this. When the sun goes by the equator, right, we have the vernal equinox. So when the sun is by the equator, we have vernal equinox, and in tropical astrology and Vedic astrology, this is what you will call 0 degrees Aries. This would really be when the sun is here by the equator. Now remember, y'all, 23 degrees Cancer, the equator, and 23 degrees Capricorn, these are important to remember because these are the tropical zones. So let me explain this. Once again, 0 degrees Aries is when the sun is by the equator, and we have a equal amount of daylight and twilight at the equator. And this would be when the sun and the earth, there's this invisible line between them, and when these lines are in a way running through each other, this is when we have the equinox. Now, this line that we would say, its focus would be the tropical zone, because the tropical zone, y'all remember, this is the tropical. This is the island man, the island gal them, which is the tropical zone, and this is also the focus of the equator. And this matters, and it's relative to us terrestrially. Now, yeah, let's keep breaking this down. When the sun is and the earth is in alignment from the perspective of the equator, we have the vernal equinox, right? And in our tropical measurement, this would be 0 degrees Aries. And in our calendrical system, March 21st, sometimes March 22nd. And look, y'all know I'm Pisces, right? Y'all know that's around where my birthday is. All right. So look, when we have this, we have the vernal equinox, and then when 6 months later, the sun goes by the autumn equinox. Now, the sun and the earth, in a way, the equinoxes are the same. There are multiple differences. One of the main differences is that the sun is in Libra. So when the sun is in Libra, we have the autumnal equinox, and when the sun is in Aries, we have the vernal equinox in our tropical system. All right? And remember that tropical astrology is based off of the tropics. And the tropics is the essentially not only a concentration of the sun's heat, but it's also a concentration of the sun's gravity. All right? And this is why around the equator, we have when we split it, remember that disk that plane that we jammed into the middle of the earth? When we separate that, we get the northern hemisphere and we get the southern hemisphere. And when the sun is in Libra, essentially the sun is going down, right? The sun is going downward. So when the sun is in Aries, the sun is going up. And this would make Aries one of the northern constellations if you're in the northern hemisphere. All right. And this also goes into when the sun is in Aries, right? We have when the sun is 0 degrees Aries, we have the vernal equinox. Then 3 months later, or 90 degrees later, because remember, y'all, astrology is all about mathematics, right? So 3 zodiac signs later, or 1 season later, the sun is going here. The sun is going to the northern Tropic of Cancer, and then the sun in the northern hemisphere, this is the highest point that the sun can reach, 23 degrees, which is the Tropic of Cancer. Then, yeah, think about it like an elevator or like a solar oscillator. In Astrostetics, we could refer to this as a solar oscillation. All right. Now, when the sun is going up here by the northern Tropic of Cancer, the sun is coming downward. And then when it's by the equator, when the sun is in the northern tropic, it's by the Tropic of Cancer. And then remember, it descends down. Now the solar oscillator is descending downward, and then when the sun is going down, it goes by the equator again.